Mr. Paul Armstrong, you are currently part of the University of Birmingham. You are a Muslim chaplain at the university. Tell us the history of the University of Birmingham.
Hi, Zain. Great to see you again. The University of Birmingham was originally founded by royal charter from Queen Victoria in 1900. So the university is now 126 years old this year. I mean, we were celebrating our 125th anniversary last year. We were Britain's first civic university. It emerged from the vision of Joseph Chamberlain, who believed that higher education should not just be for a reserved elite, but should serve the wider public, which was a remarkably modern idea in the time. Rather than remaining an isolated institution, the university was designed to work in partnership with industry, with commerce, with public life, and the local community. So from the very beginning, Birmingham sought to unite scholarship and practical service. Uh,
I read on different sources online that the University of Birmingham holds the oldest version of the Holy Quran in its university. Is that accurate?
yes, the university has a Quran. Well, it's not actually a whole Quran. It's two parchment leaves or folios, which are written on both sides, which have been taken from one of the earliest Qurans that we've identified. The manuscript contains portions of Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Miriam, and Surah Taha. It is written in the early Hijazi script and forms part of the internationally renowned Mingana collection, which is held in the Cadbury Research Library at the University of Birmingham. The Mingana collection was like one of these collections of manuscripts that some of these early Victorian collectors, they went around different countries and, collected things. They bought them from local merchants and stuff, and they formed part of a collection that they brought back with them. Eventually, this obviously was donated to the Cadbury Research Library, where it stays now. Now, the interesting thing about it is that by radiocarbon dating that was conducted by the University of Oxford, the parchment has been dated to between 368 and 645 CE with a 95.4% probability. So that means that the animal that this skin, that the parchment is made from, that animal was alive during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. So that Quran is clearly one of the earliest that was ever written down, and has been scientifically dated to that time period.
Tell our viewers a little more about your role at the university, also as the fellow of Edward Cadbury Center for the Public Understanding of Religion, and also as a Muslim chaplain at the university. What do you do with the students? How do you interact?
So I've been a Muslim chaplain at the university for about 6 years. I was appointed in March of 2000, just before we went into lockdown for COVID, which is why my role as a chaplain also evolved in some interesting ways, and why I started doing a lot of things online as well, because obviously the university was closed, the chaplaincy was closed, mosques and churches all across the country were closed. And I saw that people had a need for some kind of a spiritual counsel and spiritual connection. So this is one of the reasons why I started producing videos myself on my YouTube channel about Islam and spirituality and things which I hoped would be helpful under the circumstances. And then, of course, obviously, as we came back into normal university life, then I become more of a presence on campus, and we conduct like events. I help with services. I also provide, because a chaplain, it's not just like a normal imam, or for the Christian ones like a normal priest. It covers a lot of things. So it's not all typical religious stuff. A lot of it is to do with well-being and personal support for students, whether or not they happen to be of my faith or not. And they will speak to me and ask me for like support and advice, stuff that verges almost on counseling, but it's not called counseling because that's a separate profession. But that kind of spiritual support that we provide. And also, I mean, it can also include like writing to their faculty or to various departments at the university or to the wellbeing services to attest that we have had a conversation and that this student is going through some particular difficulties, and could they either be more understanding, or could they, open up any kind of support for the student that would make things easier for them, and things like this. So it covers a wide range of things. Um, and handle this. It's a nice role to be in, and I do enjoy working in a multi-faith environment with other chaplains of different faiths and with students of different faiths as well. It is really a great privilege to do that. Now, in February, I was appointed as a fellow to the Edward Cadbury Centre for the Public Understanding of Religion. So this is also at the University of Birmingham, but this is a different role. It's connected in the sense that there's obviously a religious and a spiritual connection between the two roles, but this role is different from chaplaincy. So I'm still learning about that role and what I'm going to do, but I am planning some projects together with the Edward Cadbury Centre, so keep posted for that. And also, I was delivering a lecture just a couple of weeks ago for a group of Christian and Muslim students from the public sector organizations who, are sort of like faith related. So, Christian and Muslim charities and things like this. And they were like CEOs or similarly executive or managerial positions on leadership based upon Surah Al-Kahf. So you can see it's quite diverse roles, and they cover all sorts of.
Mr. Paul Armstrong, let's get to the last question. Tell us more about how the University of Birmingham is contributing positively to the British society, and also tell us how it is equipping its students for the job market and their future.
Well, one of the things our university is particularly proud of is the fact that many of our students go on to have successful careers after leaving university. And this is something that the university itself has a department that helps to facilitate those connections with industry. And even like they travel around the world to different countries because like a lot of our students come from other countries. We literally have students from around 150 countries from around the world that attend the University of Birmingham. So, I mean, we actually, as a result, we have bases in some of those countries where I know some of my colleagues, some other departments, they often visit to help facilitate those connections. One of the things I most admire about the university is that it has remained faithful to its founding vision as a civic university. Its purpose has not just simply been to award degrees and qualifications or to publish research papers, as important as those are. Its deeper purpose has always been to serve society. And that happens in several different ways through research that the university conducts, which helps tackle some of humanity's greatest challenges, whether in medicine or in engineering or artificial intelligence, environmental technologies, climate science, education, public policy, so many different areas. And that knowledge has the fullest value when it benefits people. That's the Prophet, peace be upon him, also said about knowledge, isn't it? Birmingham has always understood that connection. Equally important is that education of the whole person. A university should do more than just fill minds with information. It should cultivate wisdom, curiosity, integrity, and help develop that personal development within the person as well. And students learn to think critically and evaluate evidence, to engage respectfully with different viewpoints and people from different backgrounds, different communities, and to appreciate that the world's most complex problems are rarely solved by academic discipline alone. One of Birmingham's greatest strengths is its diversity, and that the city itself, aside from the university, people from well over 150 countries are studying at the university itself. Outside the university, Birmingham is made up of many diaspora communities from all over the world, as well as people from all over the British Isles. And those daily encounters themselves are a form of social or civic education, in addition to what students learn at the university. So students are not only shaped by lecturers or by one another, but they are shaped by how they're collaborating with these people from different cultures and communities and all of these different experiences that they have outside of their academic study. And this helps cultivate empathy and mutual respect within each of those students, which wherever they go, whatever they end up doing in life, whether they go into political life in another country or into research projects within some high-tech company, or whatever they go and do, this will obviously help them as we're increasingly in an ever shrinking world and more connected than ever before. And then, of course, there's